Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insights session. We've had many webinars over the last month, focusing on different industries, different areas, funding, visas, international language requirements, and all various different topics. But today we're focusing on the Royal Agricultural University. We're joined today by Ellie Gillingham. Before we go any further, just a reminder that today is a live session. If you have any questions at all, please put it in the chat or the Q&A facility. This is also being live streamed on Facebook and on LinkedIn also. So if you have any questions on those platforms, please put it on the Messenger facility at the bottom right-hand corner or top right-hand corner, depending on what device you're using. But for now, I'll hand over to Ellie. I'll be back for the Q&A towards the end, and Royal Agricultural University will be with you for the next 40 minutes, and over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Gareth. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for this webinar today. So we're the Royal Agricultural University. We're based in Cirencester in the beautiful Cotswolds in England. So this morning I'm going to tell you a little bit more about us, and I'm also going to introduce a few of our courses as well. So my name's Ellie. I'm the UK Student Recruitment Manager, and I'm also joined this morning by Karen Brooks, who's our International Recruitment Officer, who sat next to me. And online we're also joined by Dr. Patricia Mathabi, who's our Senior Lecturer in Agricultural Technology, who will be introducing her course. I'm also joined by Dr. Beverly Hill, who's Senior Lecturer in Marketing and Programme Manager for our MBA programmes. Hello both, could you just say a little hello to everyone for us?
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're joining in the world, and hello. I look forward to introducing my program, the MSc in Agricultural Technology and Innovation.
I run the MBA programs and the MSc Business Management program, so I'll chat to you later.
So just to give you a little bit of an overview of what to expect with our webinar this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are. So I'm going to run through a little bit of an introduction to the Royal Agricultural University and a bit of an insight into some of our postgraduate courses that we offer here. You can see by the photograph in the background here, we're set in the beautiful English countryside, and we've got lots of different opportunities to come and visit us and things like that, which I'll come to later in the presentation. So as I've mentioned, after that, I'll hand over to Beverly, who's going to give an introduction to our business programs. So we've got 2 MBA programs on offer and also an MSc in Business Management. And we also have various different PG Certs and PG options available with those 2. And then I'll also hand over to Patricia, who will give an insight into the MSc in Agricultural Technology and Innovation course. And then after that, I'll conclude with a little bit of a top tip session of how to apply, when to apply, and what to put in your personal statement, and then go over a few kind of options of how you can get in touch with us if you'd like to find out more. Perfect. So without further ado, so for those of you that might not have heard of us before, we are the Royal Agricultural University. We were founded in 1845 as the Royal Agricultural College, and it was founded because there was a group of local farmers who really saw a need for education in the land-based sector. They were really passionate about making sure that future generations were equipped with all the knowledge that they needed to be at the forefront of innovation. And we were given our charter by Queen Victoria, and we're really pleased to say that King Charles is now our current patron. So next year, we're going to be celebrating our 180th anniversary. So over 175 years, we've been at the forefront of agricultural innovation and at the forefront of everything to do with the land-based sector. So we've got our rural business origins, but enterprise and innovation are things that are completely woven into all of our courses, which you'll hear more from Beverly and Patricia shortly. We're making sure that everything that we do throughout our kind of time that we've been since founded in 1845, we've been making sure that we address and equip our students to be able to look at the issues that are really pressing within the sector and within the world. So that's touching on things such as climate change, population growth, global supply chains, and making sure that we're equipped as a country and as a world to help feed the growing population. So we have something here like our graduate, that's called our graduate framework, and everything that we do here at the Royal Agricultural University is focused on our students. So you can see kind of from the little sort of infographic I've got on my screen here that there's a number of ways in which we do that to make sure that our students graduate at the end of their courses, whether that's their undergraduate courses or postgraduate courses with us, to be ready to go into the sector and to get excellent jobs and be at the forefront of their fields, whatever course it is that they've graduated from. So we've got to make sure they've got a professional approach. So we inspire our graduates to be reflective, make sure that they are ready to approach challenges with flexibility and confidence. A sustainable mindset is absolutely key to everything we do, and that again will be featured in the presentations that you'll hear from shortly from Patricia and Beverly. So we make sure that we inspire our graduates to commit to environmental sustainability. Regeneration is key. We make sure that they demonstrate an understanding of the complexity and have a systems thinking approach to everything that they do. And that's really intertwined with them being an innovative thinker. So making sure, especially with our business students, that they've got that kind of commercial acumen and that is really at the forefront of what they're looking to do so that they can address the real world problems. So being technically skilled is really important again, and that absolutely goes hand in hand with Patricia's Agritech and Innovation course as well. So making sure that our students have the skills that they need to be able to go straight into workplace, have that knowledge base already, and they can just hit the ground running is really, really important. And that links back to everything to do with the RAU values. So if you wanted to find out a little bit more about those, you can have a look on our website. We've got an RAU strategy, which has recently been launched. And that picks up kind of things such as being collaborative, being open-minded, being resourceful and responsible and inclusive, which are all really core to everything that we do here. So it's not all about being in the classroom. What we always say is that we learn without boundaries. So here's just a few snapshots of opportunities that students get while they're working and studying with us. Obviously, a lot of our courses in the land-based sector do have practical elements to them, which really does suit a lot of people that want to not only study in the classrooms and have that kind of academic side of their courses, but also be hands-on and practical and have great experiences while they're at university as well. So this is just a few different options of different opportunities that the students have got. So we've got our dairy farm here, which is in a place called Kemble, just down the road from us. The milk that's produced from this dairy farm is actually sold to Sainsbury's in a lot of times. So there's really kind of great business links there as well. The top right-hand image is actually in Swindon. We've got a sister campus in Swindon, which is where it's home to our postgraduate degrees in cultural heritage. So we do a number of different courses that look at historical renovations and looking at cultural heritage management and historic buildings and lots of things to do with that. So, and archaeology as well. So if you're interested in any of those courses, do have a look at our website. That's at our sister campus in Swindon. And the bottom right-hand image is actually on our Cirencester campus. So you can see our main building there just in the background. And this is our zero dig site, which is really linked to a lot of our agriculture courses. So it's looking at regenerative farming, looking at a zero dig approach to food production, and looking at how that benefits the food that is produced there. And the benefit to us and to everybody here at the RAU is that the food that is produced on our Zero Dig site goes back into our kitchens here on campus. And we've got brilliant chefs here on campus that cook delicious food for us every day. So just to touch on the employability and industry links that we've got here at the Royal Agricultural University, we've got over 17,000 alumni, and that's growing constantly. We've got such a great pool of alumni. And the brilliant thing about the Royal Agricultural University and the college as it was is that the alumni network are incredibly loyal to this place. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the times we've got very senior people working in senior positions across the land-based sector in various different businesses. And what the benefit is to our students that are studying with us currently is that a lot of the time they will recruit directly from the Royal Agricultural students first before going out to the wider recruitment markets. So our students get excellent opportunities as graduates and also as work placement opportunities too. So we run regular careers fairs on campus. We just had one last week that I attended in collaboration with some of my other colleagues. And it was really great to see just how passionate everybody is in terms of supporting the RAU students to get those great placement opportunities and to get ultimately excellent jobs upon graduation. So we've got a careers team that have a jobs board that post regular jobs up on there. And we've got a really dedicated alumni development team as well. So they're constantly putting on reunions, putting on various different events, engaging with our alumni network and making sure that they give back to the RAU community. So those are just opportunities that you would be able to benefit from if you became a student with us. So I just wanted to touch very briefly on Cirencester itself. It's an absolutely beautiful market town right in the heart of the Cotswolds. So it's a really great place to be. It's a really good network of various different places all around us. There's lovely shops, there's great nightlife, there's beautiful surroundings all around us. So there's this quote on the side here that says, the RAU is great, being next to a busy town. It's only a short walk to local pubs and shops and parks. It's a good reason to explore the capital of the Cotswolds with lots of little hidden gems. You'll soon find your favourite place to eat and drink and explore. And that's from one of our agriculture students. So not only is it great in Cirencester itself, we're also really well connected transport-wise all around us. So it's really easy to get to us from various different means of transport. So we've got our nearest train station is at a place called Kemble, and that's on the direct line to London Paddington. So those of you that might be arriving from your home countries that are coming to the UK from perhaps the first time, it's really easy to get to us. If you're flying into London, you can get the train from London Paddington and get to us really easily on a direct train from there. We also have a bus stop in Cirencester for National Express coaches, which is really often used by a lot of our students to be able to connect all over the UK. And we also have the benefit of having free car parking on campus as well. So if you're looking at commuting or looking at driving to us in the first instance, then you've got free car parking opportunities on campus too. So just to touch on our research, which is something we're incredibly passionate about also at the RAU. So we were really pleased that more than half of the research carried out by the RAU was commended as world leading and internationally excellent in the most recent REF awards. Our research is focused on three main goals. So feeding the world in a changing environment, sustaining and restoring the global environment, and enabling and revitalising global Britain in a post-Brexit and COVID world. And by doing that, we work with many, many different organisations and companies, some of which you can see on my screen here. So the WRC, you can see there, which is the Water Research Council. Hopefully we'll be joined by my colleague Kieran later to talk us through how they have supported our most recent MBA programme, which Beverly will be talking about in our MBA in Water Management. Other logos you'll probably notice on there as well. So the Soil Association we work with very closely, DEFRA in terms of the UK government. We've got various different policymakers and things like that that work and advise on the UK government. We also have the Environment Agency and many others that aren't featured on this screen as well. So like I said, we have great business links here at the RAU and great research, which we help to continue on our mission to kind of be at the forefront of the land-based education sector. So very briefly, before I hand over to Beverly to talk through our business courses, just a little snapshot of some of the other courses that we also offer at postgraduate level, all of which you can see on our website, which the link is there on your screen. So it's rau.ac.uk/PG courses. But I've just highlighted a few on here that we'll be talking about today. So like I said, Patricia will be talking about our MSc Agricultural Technology and Innovation course, and Beverly will be talking about the MBA courses, as well as our MSc in Business Management. But we also offer a number of other kind of agriculture-based postgraduate courses too. All of those you can read much more about on our website. Fab. So without further ado, I will hand over now to my colleague Beverly. Thank you, Beverly.
Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm always amazed to see the range of countries that you come from. So I'm going to talk to you about our MBA programs first of all, and then I'm going to move on to talk to you about our MSc in Business Management. So essentially, we've designed two different MBAs, but they've got some common elements between them. So part of that is making sure that all of those MBA students are able to really acquire a deep level of business knowledge. And it's either going to be embedded in the food and agriculture sector, or we'll embed it in water management, wastewater management sector as well. So we're going to focus on building leadership skills. We're going to focus on building up your knowledge and building up competencies to enable you to really lead in these sorts of sectors. So these programs, the MBA in particular, are designed for students who have a number of years of work experience. So you're likely to be working at a managerial level within an organisation, not necessarily agriculture or water, but certainly at a management level within an organisation. If you haven't, don't worry, we'll be telling you about the MSc later on. So the common elements across both of our MBA programs are, first of all, the focus on your business skills. So we expect people to be able to affect change in business, to affect change in industry, and we give you the skills and knowledge that you need to do that. And shortly, I'll talk you through the various modules that we cover so you can see the diversity of business subjects that we look at. So we have a strong grounding in business, but then we enable you to have a very specific subject expertise in one of those areas. So whether it's water or whether it's food and ag. And the thing about the Royal Agricultural University is we're able to offer those specialist areas to support all that business element. So it's not just business, it's not just agriculture, we're working them in together. So the sorts of students that we expect to recruit for this programme are likely to be working at a policy level in water or in food and agriculture. So with both of those MBAs, we've got policy modules to ensure that you're really familiar with the landscape around making policy, influencing policy, putting it into action. And then finally, we offer research skills across both MBAs. We want you to be able to conduct your own research. We'll give you the tools and techniques, what data, how do you collect it, how do you analyse it, in order to be able to really, put together a really worthwhile research project. So let's look first at the MBA in Water Management. I'm not sure if our colleague Kieran is here, but not to worry, he might join us later. This is enabled because of the fact that we have a collaboration with a research company in the UK called the Water Research Centre. So that is quite a unique setup for us. So we're working with external expertise as well as our own internal expertise to put together this MBA in Water Management for you. So this focuses on sustainable water management and all aspects of that. So within that, you'll cover water policy. As I mentioned earlier, we look at policy in both those MBAs, and you'll also look at climate change, managing global soils, the types of subject areas which will enable you to have that really holistic understanding of what it takes to manage in the water industry. The real unique feature of this is that collaboration with the Water Research Centre. So that enables you to work with people who are actively working professionally in this field. So you have access to best practice in water management from people who are actually doing those jobs. And this will include a range of field trips. So part of our assessments in water management are linked to industry visits, analysing what's going on in various water sectors, using that first-hand experience to really help you to think through the problems being faced by the water sector today. And again, we have huge range of opportunities for you to link with our alumni at the RAU, as well as our entrepreneurs who are working in Farm 491 to help you understand, what's happening in practice. When I talk about these MBAs, everybody knows the RAU for food and agriculture. So we're well known. We've always offered an MBA in food and agriculture, but water is new to us. So we really wanted to find out what other people thought about this. So we have a range here of endorsements. And as you can see, if you look at those quotes, they're really from across the globe, from the Netherlands to the West Indies, and of course from England. So we wanted people to see what we've put together, why we think it's a really good programme for you to do. And we wanted that external endorsement that it was a really good programme. And I hope some of these quotes will enable you to see what we're doing. So the second MBA that we offer is the MBA in Food and Agriculture. And as I've mentioned earlier, we've always offered, food and agriculture specialisms at the RAU. What's really unique about this is that it links very closely with our enterprise program. So if you're interested in setting up your own organisation in food, agriculture, any of those sectors, and are keen to learn how to develop that, then this is the program that will help you to do that. So we link with Farm 491, and this is a unit within the RAU, which hosts a range of innovators who are really working at the cutting edge of food and agriculture. They set up their own businesses. They want to work with us as the academic team to share our expertise. So they have a lot of the professional, practical knowledge. We have the academic expertise to feed into that. We also have a technology incubator over there. What I mean is the other side of our campus. You can see a little bit of our campus behind us. So you have that opportunity to really work with people who are driving change. We run consultancy projects, so we're working closely with industry. You might be working with somebody in our technology incubator, for example, or you might be working with somebody who's come to us to ask for some support for some research. We have our own vineyard, which you can see here. You are welcome to go and pick grapes in our vineyard if you wish to do so. But essentially, for the MBA, we are offering people real leadership roles within that. So it's a social enterprise, which means that we run it, we sell our wine, but actually some of the income that we get from our wine goes back into our students to help us to support, to train them, and to incentivize our students as well. So I'm going to look at the types of modules that you're going to study across the MBA. So these are the common modules. So that means whichever MBA you choose, everybody will do this. And these are the essential business skills at MBA level. So you look at responsible leadership, you look at sustainable strategies for business, and you look at decision making. So that's really the grounding of an MBA and Masters in Business Administration. And then to support those, we run research skills, which again gives you the tools and the techniques to be able to do a research project. And then you'll do a dissertation at the end of your year. So those are common across both. So our MBAs are called sectorial MBAs or sectoral MBAs, and that is quite unusual. So it means that our MBAs are embedded in particular specialist areas. So you might know an MBA as a general business type program. Ours are much more specific and really, speaking to the expertise that we have at the RAU. So on the food and agricultural MBA, you will study the economics of food production from coffee to wheat, whatever it might be. And that is essentially agricultural economics. And that's a very weighty module. It's actually a double weighted module because we felt that that is one of the most important things that you need to be, really confident in with an MBA in food and agriculture. When we looked at the types of agriculture modules that we wanted you to be able to study, we want to offer you large scale, but also small scale. So integrated agricultural systems thinks about agriculture globally and looks at different ways of managing agriculture through a systems-based approach across the globe. Whereas on the other hand, we are looking at an emphasis on small-scale farming as well. So how do we make local food supplies sustainable? How do we ensure that they continue and they're profitable? And I mentioned that both MBAs focus on policy. So that final module there, Facing Global Challenges in Food and Ag, gives you the opportunity to really scrutinise agricultural policy with the intent of being able to influence or change agricultural policy in the future. So it's giving you the tools and techniques to be able to do that. Looking at water management next to it, again here, we've identified those specific modules drawing on our expertise and the expertise of the Water Research Centre to be able to offer you a good portfolio of modules to support the business ones. So you will look at climate change, water management, climate change, obviously very closely interlinked. And you will look at how we manage global soils at a time of climate change. So we're looking at how we can use water to our best advantage. We look at how we manage water sustainably, and that includes all aspects of water in the sector, including wastewater. And then we have a policy module at the end, which is water policy and governance. So you can see that those are the very specific modules which really embed your MBA in water, land, and food. So all our programs at the RAU are aligned to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And the modules within it will link to 1, 2, 3, 4, however many of these individual goals. So within our program specifications, within our modules, we will explore how this module and this assessment makes a contribution to one of these UN SDGs. And that's common across all our programs, undergrad, postgrad, and all our modules within it. What is key about the MBA is a different method of teaching. So I've mentioned earlier that our target audience for the MBA are those of you who've got a number of years management experience. You might be leading already, you'll be certainly in a managerial role. So for an MBA, what we're doing is taking different students with different knowledge, different experiences, putting them together with our own academic expertise and enabling you and facilitating you to really think about your own experience, linking it to other people's experience in order to really have a better breadth of knowledge of what we're doing. So that use, that reflection on what you've done before, linked to our academic expertise to think to the future about what we might want to do in future years is essential for the MBA. The way that we teach is problem-based, which means that we identify issues that we want you to address. We give you some of the tools and techniques that you might need to do that, whether it's a model or a framework. And then we use peer-to-peer learning to really help you to come up with those innovative solutions. So we're not saying, this is the problem, this is the answer. We're saying, this is a problem, let's solve it together. So your experience and our experience working together. And we adopt a flipped learning model, which means that we ask you to do a little bit of work before you come into class so that you're ready to go. So essentially you have an underlying knowledge of the key elements of whatever the topic is, and you come into class and you're ready to go. You've already got some knowledge under your belt. So we can start essentially at a higher level when we start our face-to-face learning. Have a diverse range, different types of assessment, but what is really important is that they're all very professional assessments. So they're not theory alone. An MBA is very professional, very practical. So it's got to have value in the workplace and it's got to support your own career goals. So you can tailor the assessment to the specific sector that you want to work in or to address a specific challenge within that sector. So we might ask you to do reflections. Reflection is key to postgraduate learning anyway. It might be a professional practice report. It might be a critique of agricultural policy, or you might be creating something with new media. And then you'll do a dissertation at the end, which is probably, to me, one of the best bits of any sort of study because it's your own subject area, something that you want to choose to study. For the MBA programs, as well as for a lot of our other programs at postgraduate level, we have secured accreditation. So for the MBA, we have already secured the Chartered Management Institute accreditation. So that means that whether you do the food and agriculture or the water management MBA, on your completion of that, you will also receive a level 7 is postgraduate, diploma in strategic management and leadership. In addition to that, though, what we're currently doing is working with the Chartered Institute of Water and Environmental Management and also the Institute of Environmental Management as well to secure additional accreditations, which I think is particularly important for the Water MBA. So this gives you, an additional accreditation that will really give you a good professional standing in the industry. So the sort of job that we expect you to move into following an RAU MBA is really at a senior leadership level. So it might be an international NGO, it might be a government advisor if you're interested in the policy side, it might be a policy maker, you might be advocating, you might be a consultant. But essentially what we're trying to do is to enable you to either progress within your current leadership role or to move into a new sector, so to move into food and agriculture, to set up something new, a new business opportunity, or potentially move into research and consultancy as well. So later on, I will take any questions that I see regarding the MBA. A point to note on the MBA is because we ask for prior experience, it does mean that the sorts of candidates that we've looked at often have a lot of experience, for example, in water management, maybe 20 years within that industry, but they might not have all the formal qualifications that we need. So in those cases, we will always look at accredited prior experience. So how can your experience stand in for a formal qualification? Okay, so if you don't have that work experience, then you might be interested in looking at our MSc Business Management. You can come into this MSc with any undergraduate program. It could be English, it could be agriculture, it could be French. You might be looking for a career change, or essentially you might want to launch your own business. So I'm going to talk through the key elements of this. As with our MBAs, this is a business program, so it is again accredited by the Chartered Management Institute. And what we're trying to do here is to take students who have a limited amount of work experience, but with an undergraduate degree, to really help them to transition into a business environment. So you'll cover all those core business management modules that you'd expect to cover in a business degree. But because you're choosing to study it at the Royal Agricultural University, we can offer you a range of specialist elective modules drawn from our other postgraduate programs in agriculture, food, whatever it might be. So you can really contextualize it in an agricultural or a rural context. But you don't have to. You can have a straightforward MSc Business Management if you choose to do that. And so students will often weigh up what it is they prefer to do. So again, at the end of that, you receive a dual qualification. So you have that professional qualification for the CMI as well. So with all our business programs, of course, we work very closely with industry and with our alumni as well. So they will often come back and speak to our students. We develop little consultancy projects with those alumni as well. We're very well known for our enterprise programs. So I mentioned earlier on the RAU Vineyard. And in fact, its students on this MSc Business Management program last year developed some marketing programs for our Cotswold Hill Wines social enterprise. So we're a centre of excellence and we're recognised by the Institute of Enterprise and Entrepreneurs for that. So it's really the place to come. Ellie's already talked to you about enterprise and innovation, and you'll hear more from Patricia later on about that as well. I can see that Kieran's here, so he might want to add a few comments at the end about the MBA in water management. Okay, so here's our social enterprise project, Cotswold Hills. Again, as I've mentioned earlier, you are very welcome. All our undergraduate students, all our postgrad students are very welcome to be involved in this. You do this alongside your academic degree. So you might do your MSc Business Management, and then you'll work with the enterprise team to look at the branding on our products, to think about distribution, to think about sales, to think about, all those elements of marketing, business, and finance with our social enterprise project. So as I said, this year, we developed marketing plans for them. I can share those with you, when you come to the RAU, so you can see the sort of practical professional reports that we create. So the course structure for this, so you have 9 modules, 2 semesters. So our semesters start end of September to Christmas time, sort of, and then end of January to May, and then you move on and do your dissertation. So 2 taught semesters, and then a dissertation, which you work on independently with our support as supervisors. You can choose to study part-time. That is an option that's not available to our international students because of visa requirements, obviously. But a whole range of different skills, a whole range of different types of assessment, mostly individual assessment. Sometimes there's coursework, group coursework, if we feel that working with peers is going to be beneficial for that particular module. And you also have sort of one-to-one support if you decide that you are going to launch your own business, and we can help you to do so. So the modules for the MSc Business Management. So remember that you might be coming to this with an undergraduate degree in French, let's say, and no business experience. So this is called a conversion degree, which means that we do not expect that you've got a grounding in finance, marketing, leadership before you come to us. Okay, so we expect no knowledge of these subject areas. If you do have knowledge of those, great, we'll welcome your contribution. So the key areas of business management, as you'd expect to see anywhere: finance, business strategy, enterprise, maybe not so common everywhere, but speaking to our strengths and our social enterprise, along with marketing strategy, leadership, and research skills. You then have an option of choosing 3 elective modules to complete your MSc. And I've listed there a number of the electives that you can choose to do. So again, you can see that you can pick up some of those real specialist areas that we can provide because you're choosing to study at the Royal Agricultural University, such as organic systems or integrated agricultural systems. At the end of that, you will do a dissertation. So we'll give you the tools, the knowledge that you need to be able to formulate a research proposal, but then you go off and you develop your own MSc dissertation. So as I've said before, to me, this is the best bit. You come with a passion to learn about a particular area. This enables you to do a much, much deeper dive into that subject area. You decide what it's going to be, but you justify it to us. So why should we need to study this subject area? What's the point? You design how you're going to carry it out. So what data you need, how you're going to collect that data, what are the ethical issues involved, how you're going to analyze the data, what contribution is this going to make? How is it going to help practitioners? And finally, the sorts of jobs that we'd expect you to move into, generally middle management level within an industry. So we've given you the tools that you need to do that. And your assessments are professional practice. So you'll be doing the sorts of things that people like Timon, who's a previous graduate, are doing now in practice, whether that is, developing business reports, developing brand ideas, whatever it might be. I think that's it for me. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch up with you later on.
Thank you, Beverly. Hello, everyone, and welcome. And I've had the opportunity to read some of your comments, and I can see that we've got people from all over, from Nigeria, I saw Botswana, I saw South Africa, I saw Pakistan, Liberia, Ethiopia, and that is exciting. And what you should know is our program, the MSc in Agricultural Technology, is actually one of the most international programs at the university. It attracts students from all over the world. Next slide, please, Ellie. So what makes our program so exciting is that this is the very first program of its kind in the United Kingdom. We're very proud of this fact. Our program is designed to equip its graduates with real-world developments in novel and various innovative technologies. And there is definitely an increasing growth in this sector of the agricultural technology over the years. And the fact that we've been attracting students from all over the world is testament of the fact that this field is growing, this field is needed. We are facing issues with climate change. And when it comes to climate change in agriculture, technology is actually one of the key solutions to address that. So there is no better choice than choosing us if you want to focus on agricultural technology. So from our program, you acquire technical experience in a myriad of agricultural technology systems. You're looking at crop technology and innovation, livestock production, innovation and technology, environment, and so on and so forth. And also, you also learn management skills which include strategy and marketing. And Beverly spoke about some of the skills from her program. So you will be able to interact with some of the business modules that are offered by Beverly's program, right? And as I said, you actually learn to address real world problems. Next slide, please. Now, Ali has done a great job on why you need to do this course at the RAU. We are a globally recognized center of excellence. We are widely recognized for entrepreneurial teaching. We actually have leading specialists who will be your model leaders or your lecturers who are placed here at the university. And they are involved with academic excellence, and we have very strong and close links with industry from experienced leaders from a variety of agri-technology-based businesses. Now, learning without boundaries. We are very lucky that our students benefit from practical learning space right on your doorstep. Now we have what we call Farm 491, right? And I think Beverly spoke about it as well. So when you register in our program, the MSc in Agricultural Technology Innovation, right, you automatically, of course, with request, you get free membership to join the RAU from 491. Normally, businesses or anybody who's interested to have links with from 491, they pay for it. But with our students, the membership is free from the time that you register, and you also get an extra year of free affiliation a year after your graduation. So you have the opportunity to interact with more than, it's now actually looking at about 200 agricultural businesses that are affiliated with Farm 491. They generously allow us and our students to learn from their activities and experiences. And we've actually had students who actively did their dissertations with some of these companies that are affiliated with Farm 491 for free. All right. So that is one of the advantages of being registered in our programs. And by the way, some of these businesses are not only focused in agriculture here in the UK. We have businesses that are focused in agriculture and research in Africa or other developing countries as well. So keep that in mind. Next, please. Now, teaching is basically the same across all master's programs like we had from Beverly. You're supposed to register, or you will register for 7 modules, right, which are worth 15 credits. So the 7 are your core modules, which means that those are mandatory. You have to register for them, and then you get to choose 2 electives that you feel that bode well with what you want to continue with post your graduation, or with something that you're interested in and you want to learn. And then that is also what's also included is your research project, that's your dissertation, and it is worth 45 credits. So in total, for you to graduate with your master's degree, you must have completed 180 credits, and that is equated to 40 hours per week. So our modules are assessed primarily by coursework. Some modules, and this is dependent on the lecturer or the module leader, they may have an examination part of the part as their assessment. And also what's exciting is that not everybody wants to or is able to study this program on a full-time basis. So we have the option for part-time registrations, and we find that this is more popular for students that are based here in the UK. I mean, teaching comes in all sorts of forms. We have seminars, that's in the seminar rooms or lecture rooms, as most of you will know it by. And we are very big on field trips. So we give our students the experience of what, so that they can put the theory to the practice. So what we teach you in the seminar room or in the lecture room, we find a way to actually take you to a company, to a farm, where you see how that knowledge is actually applied. All right. And we're so lucky that we have all these strong and close links with industry. We pride ourselves in that. And then there's also case studies, where you incorporate problem-based, and there's a program-based and experiential learning, group project work. It's a skill that we also try to impart to our students, that you need to learn to work in a group. Obviously, individual work, reflective writing and reports. We always want our students to reflect. There's presentations, and then there's business planning, which include live business scenarios. And on this as well, before I forget, normally I get emails from students who are interested to partake or to register for our program from all over the world. And one of the questions is that, okay, Patricia, we see that it's agricultural technology and innovation, and there's information technology, there's computer. Does it mean that do I have to be technologically savvy? The answer to that is no. Okay. In our program, we've had students who have a background in, I've had a historian. I've had a teacher, a science teacher. I've had a politician, and I've had students who have no background in agriculture as well, registering in our program and doing well. So people shouldn't be afraid that because there's that technology aspect of it, they cannot register if they don't have that experience. That's why you're coming to the university, because you have lecturers and you have resources that will impart that knowledge to you. Thank you. So these are some of the indicative modules. We've got integrated cultural systems, crop production, livestock, environmental technology. You learn research skills, computing and IT, entrepreneurship, and then you've got various elective modules that you can choose from. And the electives, they change from time to time. Sometimes we get more. So what I would encourage you to do is to actually go to our page, the MSc in Agricultural Technology page, and just click on program specifications and you get all the information. Or if you need more clarity, I'm always available through my email. Next, please. And Beverly has already spoken about this. All our modules will be linked to the SDG goals, and also Ellie has also spoken about the RAU. Yeah, there you go. So all our excuse me. All our assessments in our modules, they will be designed in a way that they will equip our students to be ready for the workplace. They will focus on a professional approach, a sustainable mindset, innovative thinking, and technical skills. So we are aware that students need to leave the university, or rather the industry needs to be confident that the students or the graduates that are recruiting have not only been imparted with the theory, but also they are prepared to actually hit the ground running when they get to the workplace. Now, the MSc program, as I told you, you need to complete 180 credits. And these are, some of your modules, the core modules that you can choose from. And I've already spoken about that. But then you see, not everybody wants to follow the MSc stream. So we also offer the postgraduate diploma. Next slide, please. The postgraduate diploma, which only carries 120 credits. And the only difference between the MSc and the postgraduate diploma really is that the MSc, the postgraduate diploma, you do not have to complete a dissertation, which is 45 credits, and only one module less. So normally when students come, or applicants come, like, I'm not sure what's the difference. I said, look, there's not much difference. You might as well go all the way with a master's, because it's only one module less, and just the dissertation. And then you also have a postgraduate certificate, which is only 60 credits.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. And also to Beverly, I appreciate it was quite a long stint to present as well. You did a fabulous job, so thank you. And to Patricia as well. So, look, it's been a very engaging webinar so far. We've all seen the questions and the different nationalities come in saying hi and giving their thanks for the webinar. One of the questions I want to begin with is sustainability. It's such a key topic at the moment, whatever industry you're in. And I think the fact that there is so much diversity within courses these days, business related, agricultural based courses, water management based courses, how important is that to a student when they decide actually they can actually enroll in a course that is actually given back a little bit in the future?
I think for a lot of our students, that is a big decision maker, because it's so rewarding in that aspect, is that they're not only studying something that they're personally interested in, but it's giving back to the community and to the world as well. So it's important to us as a university, as one of our core values, but it is definitely a key decision maker for a lot of students that I speak to at various different recruitment fairs and things like that. It's something that has a greater good kind of impact.
Absolutely. And in terms of the courses, because obviously you've got such a wide range of courses, which is so important. If a student sends through their personal statement, and it might be that they're best suited to another course, what is the process in which you perhaps reach out to them and say, we feel you might be better suited towards this course?
Yeah, so that's something that happens quite often actually, and is a real benefit of the fact that we are a small specialist university. We do have a really dedicated admissions team who have got the luxury of being able to read everyone's personal statements. Quite often at larger universities, that's not possible just because of the scale of things. But because we are able to really get to know our students, that does happen right from the application stage. So we do read all the personal statements. We are able to give individual advice on students' choices and things like that. that. So that exact circumstance, if we get an application for perhaps a business management course, we can see that they've got a wealth of work experience at a managerial level. Our admissions team, in conjunction with Beverly and the other program leaders, can say, actually, we think you would be eligible to do the MBA program, for example. Have you considered that? And it might just be that they hadn't realized we did it. They didn't think that they were personally at that stage of their career. They didn't think that they had the confidence to do that, but we're able to have those nurturing conversations with them to kind of explain different alternatives and different options, with the core reason of that being that we want students to have the best success.
Absolutely. I need to talk generically about Royal Agricultural University. There will be, and there is a lot of students watching that will go, where on earth in the UK is Kemble? Where on earth is Cirencester? And fear not, those that are watching at international level, there's a lot of people from the UK that would struggle with that as well. So just talk to me about the infrastructure links, because although it is a bit in the sticks, you know, it's a little bit out of the way. But it's
a beauty of both worlds. Yeah, we're in a rural setting, but we're really well connected. So to give it a little bit of context, within the UK, we're in the southwest of England. Our kind of neighbouring bigger cities are Gloucester, Cheltenham, Swindon, Bristol. So we're right at the hub of lots of different kind of cities that offer loads of different things to students. We're just down the road from Cheltenham Racecourse, which is really popular with a lot of our equine students. We've got the beauty of having our sister campus in Swindon, which is the heart of where the National Trust and English Heritage are based. So we've got really good links with them as well. And like I said, in terms of transport, it's really easy to get to us. We've got free car parking. We've got really good transport links into London and then into Cheltenham, which has connecting trains to Birmingham and the rest of the north of England and Scotland. And yeah, it's a really lovely place to be. You've got the beauty of it being a smaller campus. So our safety ratings for students are incredibly high. We've just been awarded the safest university in the UK award again, which is again something we're really proud of. And it's it's a smaller, slower pace of life while you're here on campus, but you've got the links and the transport opportunities to be within a big city within about half an hour.
And the facilities are great. One thing that took me back is I've been and met a couple of your colleagues in the marketing team before. And when I came to Campbell, I thought, God, there's not a lot here. But when you arrive on campus, the facilities are fantastic. So, you know, it might surprise you to hear some of the sporting facilities are great. You know, you drive in and rugby pitches, football pitches, all different types of sports around. So that's quite important, isn't it?
Yeah, sports is a really big thing. If anybody wants to have a look at our Instagram page, it's out of Royal Agricultural Uni. I know that we posted yesterday with a lot of our sporting matches and things that happened on campus yesterday. For Wednesdays is a big sporting day at universities across the UK. So a lot of our rugby teams, lacrosse teams, hockey teams were all playing yesterday in various different Bucks tournaments. So yeah, sport is a big thing for us as well. We've recently signed a contract with Swindon Town Football Club, who have themselves invested quite a lot of money into our football pitches and our changing rooms and things like that. So yeah, lots of things to do on campus. We've got everything you would expect from a larger university. So we've got a bar on campus. We've got a fully stocked library with excellent resources and archives. We've got student support services here on campus. We've got security here on campus. We've got everything you would expect from a larger university, just at a slightly smaller rural setting.
Excellent. And I appreciate everybody watching as well and staying tuned as well. I'm going to ask some of the questions now that are popular questions. So feel free, Patricia, Beverly, or Kieran, who I've just added as a panelist as well, to step in and talk if you feel like you want to. Funding and scholarships, always a popular topic. How does one go about applying for a scholarship with you guys? And do you offer external opportunities as well? Just off the top of my head, to name a few: Chevening, Marshall, Commonwealth. There are some UK-based grants as well you can get. Do you want to just talk us through that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm just going to pivot my laptop slightly and introduce my colleague Karen. Karen here is our international recruitment officer, who is a gem of all knowledge to do with international scholarships. So I'll let her answer that one.
As I say, as you said, we work with the main ones. We work with Chevening, we work with Commonwealth, we work with Marshall Papworth. A lot of those are done externally, but details for them sit on our website. I know also with you guys, you have that information. They are the main ones that we work with. So at the moment, we actually have probably about 6 scholars on site from various organisations. But yeah, they are the main ones. We are not offering at the moment our own at the current moment, but we are definitely doing a lot more work, especially in Marshall Papworth at the moment, and yeah, Chevening and Commonwealth, but you apply via their websites usually. So.
And we always annually review our scholarship provision and things like that as well, which is an exercise that we're doing again at the moment. So keep a look on our website, because I think there'll be details of new opportunities coming soon.
Yeah. And all, as I say, the website is where everything's updated and put through. So
yeah, I've just posted a link into the chat facility for anyone watching. Head over to the Royal Ag website, and I'm sure it'll all be on there. Find more information, and please reach out. Everyone is very helpful at the university, no doubt. They've all got one goal, and that's making sure that you can make it to the university safely and you enjoy your time there. So make the most of that. Moving on into employability, it was mentioned during the presentation. Employability is such a big thing. And again, I don't know if maybe perhaps Beverly wants to come on at this point and kind of talk further about that. But so important now is what students do once they're finished. Are they staying in the UK? Are they staying locally? Do they become a leader somewhere? Do they go on and do further research? What opportunities do you have to help students go and enhance their careers? Beverly, if I can let you start with that one.
Yeah, so a range of different options, really. So we've got a career service anyway, and students are, certainly able to go and talk to our career specialists. And obviously we have the careers fairs that Ellie has told you about as well. But through our programs, we try to build some links with industries, with organisations. Somebody actually asked in the chat actually about, is it possible to actually work with those to create dissertations? And you can certainly do that. And that does give a foot in the door. It does give that connection to an organisation. With our master's students, they go on to a range. They tend to go, both our MBA and our master's students are global. They come from all over the world. So it depends on what they're interested in doing. So some go on to take a postgraduate route afterwards to do something else if they've just finished the MSc and they want to do another couple of years in the UK. Then they might consider looking at that as a form of visa. But others actually will have a clear idea of the contribution that they want to make back in their own country. So they're using it as a way of, securing a better opportunity back at home. So Ellie, have you got anything else to add regards, what we're doing with after postgraduate study to support students?
No, I think you've pretty much covered it there. I think that's a good point about a lot of our international students kind of getting the knowledge from the course and the year that they study with us here in the UK to then take that insight back to their home countries. That's something that we see very often. I think you'd probably agree with that, wouldn't you, Patricia, especially on the Agritech and Innovation course?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had our students. And remember, there's this graduate visa thing by the Home Office where most students, international students, actually take up. And with the links, we've got a couple of students that have linked up with some of the businesses that I linked to Farm 491 actually. At least I know about 2. And we've had students go back to their countries, starting businesses. We had one student, a Chevening scholar actually, who just graduated recently, who is doing amazingly well, just got a big funding from the US government, started an agricultural technology business, created jobs. We've had students going back, into academia. So it's just, exciting careers that they follow here in the UK and internationally as well.
Excellent, thank you. I have invited Kieran onto the call. Hi, Kieran. I believe Kieran is professor of the water management course that was discussed as well. So welcome. I just want to give you a few words really in terms of the course, in terms of the class sizes. There'll be many people watching that will wonder, what is it like? What opportunities lie in wait when you're at the university, and how exciting is it for you to be able to offer one of these courses?
All right, thanks, Garrett. Apologies for joining some Zoom technical difficulties this morning. And warm welcome to potential students, masters and PhD students. I've been reading the comments quite interestingly. So yeah, the MBA in water management, as my colleague Dr. Beverly Hill pointed out, it's a sectorial MBA. We're proud to be the first university and institution to offer an MBA in water management here in the UK. And with the WRC is the well-established Water Research Center, massive partnership with the Royal Agricultural University. And part of that partnership is to allow and support students potentially to do their dissertations, their research projects, to even shadow engineers and practitioners as well as scientists within the water wastewater sector across the UK. We will be arranging field trips, to talk to practitioners and operational managers, especially on the finance and economical challenges facing companies like Thames Water, for example, the largest wastewater utility in the UK. So students will have that opportunities to get outside the classroom a bit, visit some of these critical assets, speak to some of the operational managers, potentially work with other organizations such as the Environment Agency as well. So we're trying our best to ensure that students have a holistic training opportunity through WRC and partnering water wastewater utilities as well as the environmental consultancies.
I think that's so important. I think what you mentioned, and it mentioned in the presentation about the field trips, getting out and about. And I think there's so many university courses now that are very static and you're sat in a classroom for most of the time, even in the post-COVID world as well, where a lot of people are working blended opportunities from home and out and about. But it's still important to go out and do that research and have that field trip availability. So thank you for that, Kieran. Really appreciate that. Ellie, I'm just conscious of time a little bit, so I'll let all the lovely people that are watching around the world scoot off. Just let you have the final word in terms of intake dates. Most of the students looking now will be looking for January 25, September 25.
Yeah.
How does one go about applying, and when are your intake dates?
So what I'll do actually is if I just share my screen again,
Absolutely,
just to show those kind of key dates for you. So the courses that we've all talked about in this webinar today are all open for a January entry start. So let me just share my screen so you can see. There we go. Hopefully you can see that okay. So yeah, the courses that we've talked about today are open for a January start. We've got a couple of different deadlines depending on where in the world you're coming to us from. So if you're coming to us from outside of the UK, then we'd like to have your application with us by the 1st of December. And like I said, they're done directly through our website. So navigate to the course that you'd like to apply for. And on all of our course pages, there's a section that says apply now. And it'll ask you to then go through our application process. And it's a really easy step-by-step process. It asks you for things such as your personal statements, your CV, which is really, really important, especially for the MBA courses. And then just asks you for things like to do with your personal details and your passport details, your full name, address, contact information, so that we can get in contact with you to discuss your application. If you're coming to us from the UK, then we ask for your application by the 6th of January.
Yeah.
I will just skip through these bits slightly. So in terms of the next step, after you've submitted your application, we aim to get back to all of our applicants within 10 working days. And I've put on here some further deadlines that you need to meet your conditions by. So if you're from outside of the UK, then you need to meet your conditions by the 9th of December, which is quite a tight turnaround. So that's why we do recommend getting your application into us as soon as you can, so that our admissions team can process those next steps for you. If for any reason you can't meet those deadlines, then all of these courses will have another entry point in September next year. And those applications, again, will open very soon out on our website. So I've put the semester dates just there on the right-hand side so that you can get a bit of an insight into kind of the format of how things work here. So for January entry, you'd be looking at starting in this semester 2, which starts on the 27th of January. So that's why we've got all of these various deadlines in place, so that you can get everything in place and ready for you to start with us in Cirencester on the 27th of January.
Fabulous. Okay. So anyone watching that, please take note of this, because, they mentioned the 10-day working turnaround. Have some patience. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people watching that will want their decision and want feedback that day, next day, and it happens. I've worked at universities myself. I understand, there's people that don't have patience and it's one of those things. You want answers and you want them by yesterday. But I do urge anyone that is watching, if you've got any questions, anything at all that you're not sure about, to reach out to the university all your details are going to be shared with the university directly. And likewise, we will send you a copy of this video, and we'll also share the details of the marketing team in an email with you by the close of play tomorrow, Friday, the 18th, 19th now of October. So if you have any questions, please do let us know. And we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully next year, for another agricultural special. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the Study in Wales webinar for anyone that's interested later in the week. But for now, thank you for your time, Ellie, Karen, Kieran, Patricia, and Beverly. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you.